Blog Talk Radio.
Please take all the necessary precautions to protect your constitution while listening to this broadcast. 3, 2, 1. Coming to you live via the internet. It's time for Rage Against the Regime. Let's get ready to rumble! Finally, a show for patriots, defending the Constitution and uncovering the truth at every turn, bringing you exclusive interviews and covering the topics the mainstream media doesn't dare to touch. Call in and join the discussion at 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. And now, here are your hosts, Bobby Who's the Man and Becky Williams. Rage Against the Regime.
I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah.
Hey, good Saturday afternoon. This is Becky Williams. I want to thank you for joining me on Rage Against the Regime podcast. We have some very exciting information, and I have a very special guest today. She's one of my heroes, dedicated to the cause, to free Texas, and to help break away from the chokehold of the federal fiat government. Welcome my guest today, Micah Campo. Micah, say hello to the audience.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. So excited to be on with you, Becky.
Man, I'm telling you what, Micah, I'm honored to have you as a co-host today. I know we've got some real exciting information to share in just a little bit. We're gonna save that for about 20 or 30 minutes. Give everybody an opportunity to jump online and light up the phone lines. I'm sure they're going to have questions once we share the information with them concerning not only an opportunity but a way to communicate freely without censorship. I'm stoked.
I am too.
Micah, we have a lot of things that are going on right now across the country that are very disturbing, and I know that you fight daily. You bury yourself in research. You're a superhero. You're in my eyes. You're a full-time mom. You homeschool your children. You're doing things the right way. You are a dedicated participant with Texas Freedom Movement, and you have your hands in a few other things, one of which is that very exciting news that we're going to share with the individuals that are listening in today. Micah, first of all, I want to say thank you. I appreciate everything you do. You are loved and respected across the board, and my gratitude could never be expressed with semantics. I hold you dear and near to my heart. I'm concerned like you are for our kids and for our grandkids, and I'm concerned about the things that are going on in Texas and across this nation. I have to ask you a question. Frequently, when I'm talking to the groups in Texas, and there's several of them that are striving for independence for Texas, they've broken away from the verbiage secession for fear of being charged with anarchy, although it is actually secession and stated as such, and it is our right to call for that. But with the freedom groups, I'm frequently in discussion with individuals that say we need to focus on Texas and not worry about what's going on with the federal government in Washington. And I understand the concept of that. The fact of the matter is the things that are going on in Washington directly affect Texans. And in order for us to understand how our state government is operating and what how they're going to react to our cries for independence is largely going to be based on just how deep the connection is between our government and the government in Washington for many reasons. And I have to ask you, Michael, how do you feel about that? I mean, what's your thought on focusing on Texas only or primarily and ignoring the issues coming out of Washington?
Well, I think, and I am pro-Texas independence, but I'm a little different than most pro-Texas independence individuals. I'm pro-Texas independence because I'm just not sure that our U.S. government is salvageable. Now, with the recent things happening, patriots are beginning to stand up, and I can see a change. I can see a movement happening. But the reason that I became involved with Texas independence was because of the infiltration of Sharia law and the border issues. And because our government's not taking care of it, our U.S. government does not care, is actually not just not caring, they're encouraging it. Our borders are wide open. We welcome illegal invaders because they're not illegal immigrants into our country, and we pay for them to be here, and we pay for them to destroy our country. And I'm fed up with that. This is, I don't know if you've mentioned it before or not, but we have bansharialaw.com, and we are working very hard right now to get signatures on a petition to address Sharia law in America. And we're trying to, or attempting to, and we're involved in getting legislation passed throughout all of the states so that we can address Sharia law directly.
It's really, that's near and dear to my heart as well. I caught a lot of flack when I was campaigning as governor of Texas on two issues, and the very issues are actually the ones that you just mentioned that a lot of folks weren't seen as a main concern when I was campaigning. One was dealing with Sharia law and the influx of the Muslims into not only our state but into America, and the other was the border issue. And on my platform, I made statement whenever I stood and spoke to individuals that I would secure the border if I were to be successful in my run. I would secure the border using any means necessary in order to secure no breach occurred. And I caught a lot of flack from that because it was what it was. And just like any other nation that has borders, you enforce the laws that your right as a nation is to secure and assure the safety of its inhabitants or its citizens. And of course, that meant using force if need be, deadly force, to secure that border. Certainly, if we ran over to Mexico the way that they've been coming over here, we would die in the desert. We'd be met with force. And
right.
the other issue, the Muslims, and the Sharia law issue is very concerning to me. I understand that this week, some shit, for lack of a better terminology, in Iowa has passed the Sharia courts up there. And Iowa, of all states, I mean, that just flabbergasted me. And you and I know what that means. It sets precedents for the other states to follow suit. It gives them strength and a foothold and an argument in court to present their case in order to have Sharia law or Sharia courts implemented in the other states. So I'm real concerned with that. How do you feel about what happened in Iowa?
Well, I mean, it's unbelievable. This is America. We have American laws. Only American laws in American courts should be recognized. And they are slowly infiltrating, and it's because of political correctness, because we're afraid to stand up, because we don't want to appear mean. We're losing our country. And I, for one, will not back down. I have, daughters, and I want to stand up for the children and the America's future, our children. Do you want your daughter raised under Sharia law? That's a question that most people need to consider when they say, oh, well, they're just peaceful, loving Muslims. No, they're not. No, they're not. If they were, they wouldn't be here to take over our government, because that is what they're doing. It's not a religion. It's a political movement. And not only in Iowa is it happening, it's happening here in Texas. And everyone says, oh, Texas won't put up with that. It's not going to happen there. Well, guess what? That Islamic Tribunal, which is at islamictribunal.org, anyone that's listening, if you go and look at that, look at their About It tab. I haven't looked at it in the past 3 days, but they change that almost daily because they get attacked on what they are, and they want to appear innocent. Well, they aren't. That's an Islamic tribunal. That is there to enforce Sharia law. And we have CARE, who is proactively, now CARE is the same as Muslim Brotherhood, whether people want to admit it or not. It is. We've got a lot of facts to back that up. But we have CARE, who is actively bust people in, and they are standing up and opposing American laws for American courts. Well, if you're here and you want to be an American, why are you doing that? If you have no desire to infiltrate our government and implement your laws, then why are you opposing American laws? Becky, I don't know if you know about this or not, but in Houston ISD has an Arabic immersion school.
Oh, my
Houston
God.
ISD, yes. And
we're
we're doing a lot of research. Well, what it is they're going to be taught Arabic, if they don't already know it. They are going to, learn to love and appreciate and, in my words, worship the Arabic culture. And, that's a form of civilizational jihad. They're bringing them in and training them to love that culture and love that, even though they're not going to open a Quran in there because, that would open up too big of a discussion. They're teaching them to love those people and what they do and that they're good people. Well, they're not good people, but they're going to portray them as. The Qatar, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, Qatar, QATAR Foundation has money. They've contributed to that. There's blood money. It's funded by blood money.
Yeah, let's talk about the money. And my listeners have listened to me repeat this, but I'll repeat it again because we're going to have new listeners today, as we do every week, that probably have not heard what I'm about to say. A couple of things. Jean Smith is on hold, and she found a couple of bills that she shared with me that were privatized bills that were passed through our government, fiat government. It's a shadow government. People need to understand that the coup d'etat is already established, fatwa, caliphate, whatever you want to call it, has already occurred in our government. This is not a government for the people anymore. There's foreign interests that actually are in complete control of our government. The money. these two particular bills are specifically for a select group of individuals, and this select group is Muslim. They are afforded the luxury of no personal or business taxes because under and I'm throwing up quotation marks here, under the guidelines of their Sharia law and their political and militant theology, the cult that they call a religion that they hide behind, they do not pay taxes, but it specifically states in the Quran, and I've posted the scripture directly out of the Quran many times, that they are to tax the infidel, but they are not to receive tax or be taxed. But they are to impose tax upon anyone who is not of Islam. And also, the second bill is that they pay no interest on loaned money. Now, I don't know about you, sis, but I'd really like some of those no interest loans on my vehicle and on my purchases, whether it's a home or otherwise, credit cards. They're given exception in every direction that you and I are not afforded. As far as the taxes go, imagine this, if you will, they get anywhere from $500,000 to millions of dollars to come over here with nothing, have their plane ticket paid for, come into our country, receive every benefit, and still own a business. And they're given that capital up front, and they do not have to pay that capital back. Now, after operating costs every month, these Muslims have liquid money. It's their money. You want to know how everything is being funded? How is it that they own one of their very own imams owns most of the charter schools now? They're buying them up across the country, and that program that you just spoke of is being implemented largely through that as well. They take the money that they're earning, individuals who still think Muhammad is a good guy down at the corner store they've been doing business with for 10 years, and he's never been anything but polite. Listen, it's Takia. He's laughing at you every time you spend $1 in his store because he's taking everything away from you. They take that money and they go buy up neighborhoods. They buy up corporations. They buy up the next store and throw up the next mosque. Down in Sugar Land, I'll give you a for instance of just how corrupt it is. Even in Texas, in our own government, they bought 5,147 acres in Sugar Land, Texas. Now, for people who don't know the area, that is a very expensive area to thrive in. They bought this acreage for $550,000 US. Now I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to blow your mind. I did research on cost of real estate, and that's commercially zoned real estate, by the way. That is intended to be the largest super mosque in the nation, and is a very rich land down in that area. So when I mean that, I mean for business. The cost of living there is a little bit expensive. It's a lead area. But to buy undeveloped land that is not zoned commercial, 60 acres would cost you $550,000. That's what the market's holding right now for the acreage down in that area. So I did the math, and that would have cost a little over $50 million to buy that much acreage in Sugar Land. Now, Micah, you tell me, how the hell did the bastards do that? Do you really think a landowner gave up $49 million in change? So something's dirty there. Something is very filthy, nasty, dirty there. And in Houston alone, they have over 70 mosques.
That number is actually up to 80.
Is it now 80? Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
We're up to 80. We're up to 80 now. And I'm telling you, we are so blind. We're so blind. And if we do not unite and stand up to this, we'll have no fighting chance. And, I'll go back a little bit to Texas independence movement. Well, again, if we don't fight Sharia law and we don't take care of our border issues, Texas independence would never happen anyway.
Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say at one of the protests, I spoke with I don't have the name. I've got it written down, but a representative of CARE. And he wasn't very nice, obviously. But he told me, we can take Texas, we can take America. And that's where they're standing.
Yeah, I've heard the same things. And a couple of things are very disturbing to me. Number one, we know that Obama is of the Muslim Brotherhood. You know, the first thing he did when he got into office was to give Winston Churchill's bus back to England. And many people didn't understand why that occurred, but if you do your history, do your research, and understand exactly what Winston Churchill said about the Muslims, you would understand just how big of an impact that statement was that he made. The other thing he did is he bowed to the Saudi king, and he accepted a prince's jewels upon his neck. And I believe that was his reward for being positioned and placed in the American government as POTUS, the most powerful man in the world. He was bestowed the jewels of the crown from the Arabian prince or king. So we have a couple of things that are going on here. We've watched him continuously fund terrorist organizations. We've watched him release Muslim terrorists in exchange for a deserter, along with, and let this resonate, $50 billion was exchanged in that exchange for Bergdahl. And you know, you have to let that resonate. You have to understand that on 4 different occasions that have actually been reported, and it's probably been more so, that ISIS accidentally we drop munitions and provisions over in Syria, right smack dab into the hands of ISIS. He stood and he made a speech addressing the ISIS issue, and he called them ISIL. And we did our homework, and we found out that the L actually stood for Levant. Nobody had ever heard them called ISIL until Obama said it. He said it on national TV, which was broadcast all over the world. And we believe that that was his an act of espionage where he, in fact, was giving them the go-ahead. Levant is the region around surrounding Israel. It's many regions, and that's when they started moving fast forward and started receiving these accidental drops from of munitions and provisions from our own military. So there's a real nasty game going on there. And we did, I actually did when I was running for governor last year, I did my homework concerning the ownership of businesses, small to medium in this country. I do merchant services. That's my business. That's what I do. I've been doing it since 1991. And it's getting harder and harder for me to make an income in that area. And basically what it is, I go into a new business or an existing business, and I either set them up with the ability to receive payment through electronic transactions with credit card, EBT, whatever it may be, debit cards. I set those accounts up. I buy the interest rate from processor. I'll mark it up a few points. I buy the transaction fees, mark those up a few points, and then I receive that as residual income every month. So it's accumulative. It can be exponential if I continue to grow it. It's a competitive market right now because of the economy. It has been for the last 8 or 9 years, but you really have to hustle to keep accounts, to keep your portfolio up so that that's lucrative at the end of the month for you, because there's not a lot of upfront money in that business. Well, it's getting harder and harder for me to write business. 2 reasons. 1, language barrier, and 2, Muslim-owned businesses. I'm a white, blonde-headed, blue-eyed American woman, and I have been called a kafir, get out of my business, send a Muslim man back if I have one in my company. And I'm like, hey, bastard, I'm the owner. I'm the owner. And I assure you I have no Muslim males working for me. I would spit teeth from my grave before I would hire one. But so I did my homework, and I went on the .gov site, and in 2012 was the last update of the site for the Bureau of Statistics concerning the ownership of small to medium businesses across America. And at that time, it was 65 to 70% of all small to medium owned businesses are owned in this country by immigrants. Now, I don't need to tell you how pissed off that makes me. And that's a whole other story. I could go for an hour just on that subject alone, but my frequent flyers on my radio show, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And so two things here. These people come from third world countries, and they're being given our right to thrive and to prosper in this nation, our birth and God-given right to be able to secure business and future for our children and our children's children, to pass those industries or those businesses on to the next generation. We're not afforded that. In fact, whites are actually excluded from that, and that's what I'm talking about. That could be a whole other show. But
right.
That was very disturbing. Now, with the influx and the rapid flow coming through that they bring in and call refugees and place them strategically across the nation, we're being taken over very quickly. I mean, he's here to do I call him the finisher. In fact, I'm writing a book that I'm calling The Finisher, and it's about Obama and his position and why he's been placed. I'm hoping that we live long enough to see it come to publish and see the people's reaction when they read the book. He is the finisher. He was put here with purpose. And so the money that these people come over here and take away from American citizens is for the purpose of completing the caliphate and or establishing fatwa. And people, if you don't know what the caliphate is, you don't know what fatwa is, you need to look it up. It's a form of jihad, and it's a domination. It's laying foot wherever they set their feet, dominate, and they get a foothold in your municipalities, in your schools. They get a foothold in your government, and that's it. All hell breaks loose, and we become a nation that's fighting for its very existence. And they have one task that they all focus on, and they'll achieve that by any means necessary. They practice deception and lying to the infidels, and they lay in wait for them, and it's to instill fear in our heart and to take over and force us into, what do you call it? I just woke up, so you have to bear with me. I'm a little lost for words here. To force us into to convert to Islam, and if you do not, they will kill you. That's the end game. You cannot coexist with Islam. So, thank you for doing what you do with Ban Sharia law. I want to bring Jean on if I could for a moment. I see that she's on the board. Hold on one second, because she's going to have some stuff that she can add to that.
Oh, absolutely. I can't see her.
Jean Smith. Hey, sister. How are you?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
Oh, man, I just woke up. Listen, let me tell you what happened last night. You know I have insomnia anyway. I've fought with it for 18 years, but I go hell-bent for leather. I mean, sometimes my days are 25, 26 hours long, then I just fall. I drop due to exhaustion. But so I finally get to sleep. It's like 3:40 in the morning. I'm ready to shut it down, right? And I know I have a show at noon. And I put Zello on my phone yesterday, and I belong to a group on Zello because we're watching the movement closely and verifying everything concerning the movement of the military due to the Jade Helm situation and what the things that are going on. So we've got intel, and I just leave the Zello on, and I forgot to turn it off, disconnected before I went to sleep. And I'm laying here, and I just drifted off for about 20 minutes, I guess. I thought I was asleep on that, but I wasn't. And I hear this jackass on Zello calling us all kinds of names. It's a troll that had found our channel. And my phone lights up, and it's really loud. It's a walkie-talkie, kind of thing. And this asshole is going, you son of a bitches, you better pay your taxes and you better blah, 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 you conspiracy, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell? That's what I woke up to, and I could not go back to sleep. So I just took about a 30-minute nap, and Natalie came over and she woke me up. She said, you have to do your show. And so I literally got up 15 minutes before time to do the show. I'm a little groggy. I had about an hour and a half sleep since, I don't know, the day before yesterday. But I thought you might want that dissertation. What? I'm sorry.
I think you're functioning well for 15 minutes of sleep, Becky.
Man, I kick some ass, don't I? I can actually feel and hear inside my head the connections trying to meet one another on those brain cells. I get, you know. Good. Anyway, Jean, thank you for coming on, sis. You might have something you want to add to that. I wanted to ask you, what do you think? Why do you think it is that? We know he was reelected. That's a joke, by the way. I'm throwing up quotation marks. He was replaced in 2012. Why do you think they quit running Bureau statistic numbers in 2012? What's up?
Well, you know, Becky, what I can find so far is that that's when they turned, in 2012, they turned, and I'm not quite sure what happened. I haven't actually connected the dots yet. I found a lot of information, but in 2012, I'm not sure what executive order was written exactly, except for the National Defense and Preparedness Act in January or March of 2012 seems to be when it all started. But they turned all of our federal funding over to a board, a non-elected, non-governmental board. We don't have control of our money. We have no control of our treasury. And the only thing that I can really find thus far is that National Defense and Preparedness Act. And there, it refers to numerous different executive orders, which I haven't taken the time to go back. But at this point, it looks like that executive order is what did it. And if people read that, it turns funding over to agency department heads. They can do anything they want, basically, is what that National Preparedness and Act does. They can do whatever they want. They can fund whatever they want. They can do whatever they want, basically, with their money. We don't control the money, and if people understand that we don't control our money, we don't control our government. I mean, it's a non-elected board of CEOs, people from all over the place. I mean, this is not about Muslims. The Bushes aren't Muslims. The Clintons aren't Muslims. This is about the UN. This is about the total takeover of this country. It's been done. I mean, we can fight Sharia law, and we should. I mean, that's just part of what they're doing to keep us distracted, keep us busy, keep us occupied, while the UN takes over everything, because that's what's happening. I mean, this is just about communism. This is communism, and they come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. There's.
Well, Gene, I know this for a fact from doing my own research on history. The fall of Rome was to the Germans and the Persians. Islam rose up out of Persia. And when Hitler, the insane little bastard who's probably has linked lineage to Obama, hell, who knows, because they certainly mirror one another, the first allies to Hitler was actually Iran and also Islam. And history does repeat itself, and we're looking at the third greatest war that is definitely upon us. We're in the throes of it already. World War III, which is biblically to be the last war that this war will ever see before the coming of Christ. You're seeing it again. You're seeing the communists holding hands with Islam. Islam is foot soldier. and
right,
they are here with purpose.
But it's still it's about communism, because Israel is involved in this, Putin's involved in this, the Russians. I mean, Stalin, Lenin they were Jewish.
Oh yeah.
People don't understand the Jewish connection to this, and how serious it is. And they're connected. Azerbaijan 2,000 years ago saved, the Arabs in Azerbaijan, saved the Jews from Spain, and they have a very close relationship. So people don't make an association between the Jewish community and the Zions, or whatever you want to call them. But you go back to the international organized crime, and I mean, the Rothschilds are Jewish, the Warburgs are Jewish. Warburg Pincus, Lockheed Martin was Italian Jews, the CEO. So this is just about global leaders who are getting paid off and making billions on, we the people. So it's not just about the Muslims. It is.
No, but the Muslims are clear and present.
I mean, they're using them.
Of course.
They're using them because there's so many of them, and those people, the Muslims, grew up 50 of them under one father. I mean, they're all oppressed and taught, so they're using them really literally. And I know they're trying to, the caliphate and all of that, and yes, that's going on. But the Jews are behind it. They're just as much involved. I mean, and they use the Muslims to confuse people. But there are as many Jewish people involved in this as there are Muslims. I mean, it's all about the global leaders coming together and doing what they have to do to overthrow the entire globe and put everybody under communist rule. It's about communism.
And I understand that, but we're not calling out a race. We're calling out a theology. We're not saying
that's what I'm saying. It's about communism.
And I
it doesn't matter if they're Arabs, if they're Jews, if they're Germans, if they're Russians, if they're Norwegians. It's about communism, and it doesn't matter that it falls,
Well, I understand that, but you continue to use the word Jew, which is a race of people or individuals.
It's Zions, but the facts are there.
And I understand that, but I want to specify that because I don't want anybody to think that we're all Jew haters. For Christ's sake, no, we're not.
Well, no, but I'm stating facts. The names are there. I mean, it's factual. It's not that I'm a Jew hater. My best friend is Jewish. I'm not hating Jews. I'm just stating facts. If you go back and you start going through all these documents that I've been through and tracking all these CEOs, and I mean, all you have to do is look. I mean, it's all there. These people who are in charge of everything are Jewish. They have Jewish names. Whether they're Zions or whether they're, whatever their issue is, but these names are there. And I mean, what I'm saying is they're just as involved as any Muslim or anybody with a Muslim last name or from a Muslim country. That's factual. That has nothing to do with, and I'm not afraid to say so. I'm not a Jew hater. I don't hate anybody, but I do despise corruption, and these people are involved.
Jean, and I understand
everybody's afraid to state the facts. It's factual. They ran the international organized crime.
Let me
they
speak for a minute.
They own all the casinos.
Jean, let me speak for a minute, please. Muslims are coming every ethnic background. Let me just put it that way. I'm having a hard time speaking. They come in every ethnic background. They're white Europeans, blacks, Chinese, Indonesian, Arab. There's Jewish Muslims, but Muslims are not a race. No more than when you're calling out the Jews like that. I do understand they have a Jewish heritage. They hail from the Jewish race, and again, this is biblical. With two brothers pitted one against the other, separated and given nations, and one would forever have strife, and the other was to prosper and to have blessings. And that's God's deal. I don't question him on that. But when I speak of Muslims, I'm not picking on just the Middle Eastern men and women. I'm picking on any dumb son of a bitch that belongs to a cult that hides under disguise as a religion that has one goal in mind, and that is world domination. They behead people. They corrupt the minds. They try to gain confidence of the enemy because they lay in wait. And when the bell goes off, whenever the horn calls them to jihad, it will be exacted. It will be done. They've proven it for over 2,000 years. They've slaughtered more people than any other groups of individuals known to man. They have one agenda. So we have two things operating here. We have foot soldiers who are Islam. They're being given the booty or the bounty up front to take over regions so that they can move the pieces on the chessboard for the purpose of gain financially and otherwise. So we have a couple of things that are going on here, but we cannot ignore that we have a clear and present danger of a cult that is vast in their takeover in America, and it's been given to them by, like you said, these Zionists, these communists who are controlling every damn thing across the board and are extorting literally trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in Ponzi schemes that you yourself have uncovered across the board. And that's simply what I'm trying to say. Islam is a threat. And for you to think that they're not, I can't express to you enough, like you've done research on the financial end, I have been tracking Islam like a friggin' bounty hunter for the last 4 years. And I know what these bastards are doing, and I know what they're capable of. And I'm watching the beheadings and the pedophilia and the takeover and the force that they're using, the aggression to do the things that they do. And that's why I constantly ride the ass of the public to wake up about the Muslims.
Well, there certainly are, Islam, whatever you want to call it, their ideology is basically what it is. But, it's not just them. And people just can't get over the fact that, the Rothschilds built and funded Israel. They are in charge of everything. They are Jewish. Maybe they're not real Jews. I don't know. I don't go there. I don't know who's a real Jew and who's not. I just know that they started taking Lehman Brothers. They own everything. Lehman still exists. They're just under another corporation now. They're under J.P. Morgan. But it's about the United Nations and these few at the top, which the United Nations is a BS org as well, and it's the most corrupt org on the planet. And they were created simply to launder money and try to take control and draw these other countries in so they could know what they were doing and convince them they needed to go under the UN rule of law. But the Bushes, I don't know what they are. German Nazis, I don't know. But the Clintons, I don't know what they are. Somebody says they're Jewish, somebody says not. Biden says it. He said, you don't have to be a Jew. Biden said it. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
Let me ask you a question, and I heard him say that. I do know that. Let me ask you a question. All of this goes back to the UN, and I know this, and you know this from the research that you have done and many others, and we've all shared information and vetted information with 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 or 6 different sources, so that we know we're headed in the right direction. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done a census breakdown of who holds chairs in the UN? Like what nations, and predominantly who are they?
Well, it's really a mixture of people. It's really a mixture of people, but if you go into the different UN organizations, the WTO, the UN Security Council, you're going to find a mixture of people from all over. That's what they do. That's what they want. That's how they get these countries to sign over their sovereignty. And get them all on their side. So you're going to find that there are numerous people. I mean, Africa's big right now because they're taking over Africa, because Africa is the richest nation on the planet for resources. And they've been working on Africa for years. So, a lot of those people are Muslims. So a lot of those Muslims, to get them involved so that they can get in the UN and then take over their country, because they're going to screw them is what they're going to do. Right? So, they bring in more and more Muslims, and a lot of those will be from Africa. But you got to understand there are a lot of Arabs that are Christian, right? People get confused that Arabs aren't always Muslim.
Well, no, we know that there are Arab Christians. We do know that there are Arab Christians, just like we know
but,
that
the Rothschilds are behind, all of it. Soros, Clinton, these people aren't Arabs. These people are,
No, but the majority of, and you just said it yourself, I've done the homework, and that's why I asked you. You just said it yourself. They continue to hold the dominant number of seats in the UN Council. And Muslims are very, very, they hold more seats than any other in the UN. And so
right.
we know, just by your own admittance, and you keep saying it goes back to the UN, there's a very deep connection and tie to the theologies of Islam, and there are many. There's economic, there's militant, there's economic, militant, and there's one more. But anyway, at the end of the day, those bastards are all over the place, and they're taking over. They're very violent, they're very forceful, they're foot soldiers, and they are a clear and present danger now. To dismantle the cabal, to take the beast by the neck and take it down, which is who you're talking about, the real problem, these what is it, like 700 or 800 people that are actually at the top of that food chain that are really keeping the ball rolling, so to speak, and they have an idea
right.
of
yeah, and they're all over the place. There were 700 for a long time, and it looks like they've added an additional 100. So over the last couple of years or so.
Well, I know that this is very near and dear, Mike. I'm gonna let you speak up. This you had a couple of things you wanted to add a while ago, and we kind of drowned you out, and I do apologize.
Yeah,
for that.
well, no, and that's okay. I mean, and obviously, I respect what Jean. Right? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's I'm sorry. Yeah, we were talking about you last night, and I want to talk with you because there's some questions that I have, and we've got some research compiled and on some things that I'd like to share with you. But I understand where you're coming from. I can't say that I agree with everything that you're saying. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I would like to learn more about what you're saying is true. And I'll say this, and Becky was surprised, and I'm not sure why, because she has helped me a whole lot. I've only been involved in the Liberty Movement for a year.
Wow. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was shocked by that. I know that the ban Sharia is something that you've been working very hard on, and I was at the rally with you in Garland. I know where your passion lies, and I know where your heart is, and I know that it's definitely in Texas. Jean has done so much study, and her frustration, and she and I have had many conversations about it. Her frustration is that people really need to know that there are Zionists, there are Jews from the beginning of time that worked with the Jesuits, that this is not something that just happened overnight. This is something that's been effectively in the works since the beginning of time, which is dominate every land. But in particular, the Rothschilds, I mean, she can take you back to dates, events, connections to whom and what, that is leading up to this new world takeover. She knows so much about the TPP, why they're erasing the Canadian and the Mexican border. And one of the things that people are just really not mentioning is the Canadian border. And the Canadian border is wide open as well. In the sequester 3 years ago that we had, I went into the .gov site and I wanted to find out who was being cut, who was being shut down during the sequester, this fake crisis, financial crisis, because of lack of Congress making a decision on a budget. So a sequester is called, and I wanted to see whose pay was getting cut, who was getting shut down. And I found that for 6 weeks we had absolutely no Border Patrol whatsoever on the Canadian border.
Well, Becky, that goes back to Bush. And do you remember Vicente Fox? What do they call it? This something security partnership. If you remember, I remember seeing them on the news, and
yeah.
I was just reminded of it again today. And it was Canada, the U.S., and they don't refer to us in all of these documents that I come across and that I read. They don't refer to us as the USA. They refer to us as the Americas. We are part of the Americas.
Yeah, which is very disturbing.
They basically decided under, when they did that, they actually broke it down. It's just that they couldn't get Mexico on board. Now Mexico's on board because they privatized their oil, which means the corporations went in and now are taking over. So in their mind, this North American Union has been done for a long time. I mean, all the legislation, the TPP has not yet passed because Japan has not agreed to the deal yet. In fact, Japan's coming to speak before Congress in the House here the end of April, I guess it is, which is not a good thing when you see that. We talked about this yesterday. When you see foreign leaders speaking before our Congress, that should tell you something. That should be a red flag. Why? Afghanistan, Israel, now Japan. I mean, this is America's Congress. What are foreign leaders, and governors meeting privately and making deals with foreign leaders? I mean, that should be a red flag to everybody that this has gone way beyond this country. But
no, it even gets deeper than that. Ron Emanuel, who is the mayor of Chicago, has met with some heads of government, and I believe he met with the president of Mexico. He's not a governor; he's a frickin' mayor.
Well, and the mayors, see, with this Agenda 21, you can pretty much tell what cities have been dissolved. I mean, Agenda 21, ICLEI, dissolves your local government and puts it in the hand of these regional non-elected boards, which get their money from this other non-elected board that's controlling the federal funds. So, I mean, right now people aren't understanding how that all works. And when you see mayors, I think that article or that the mayors are being allowed to vote on the TPP. I mean, this is and like you said, mayors, governors, see, they've all been given this, once they go under ICLEI and once their local government is dissolved, because that's what it does. That's what ICLEI does. Once they sign those agreements, they don't make any of the laws and rules. It's coming from up above.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I know my city is under ICLEI. And we have some of the most corrupt city council members right here in my city. And I'm talking corrupt. We had one speak out against open carry here, the bastard, and I sent him a nice little message. He said we need to all go shoot ourselves. We need to all just go kill ourselves. And so we started doing a background on this bastard, and he has ties not only to DHS and federal position, but also ties to NORAD. And he sits on city council seat here in my city and made those comments and wanted to change the rules and regulations concerning open carry in our city, trying to remove a right that he has no power authority to remove and implement one that he most certainly has no authority to do so on. So we're seeing that across the board. And for people who don't understand who ICLEI is, that is a management over your municipalities, over your tax assessors, your comptrollers. They come in and they take over everything, and the homeowners associations. That's why you have a smart meter on the back of your house and a smart meter for your water now. And at the flick of a switch, they're going to cut it off when they get ready to cut it off. So if we don't have a EMP or a natural disaster, when the collapse comes, they're going to flick the switch, and they're doing it with purpose. Everything they do is with purpose. It's to take over your property rights, your mineral rights. It goes right down to the fracking that's going on inside the city limits.
So Agenda 21 is the backbone. Oh, I'm sorry, Becky. Go ahead, honey. You were done.
No. I'm just letting them know what ICLEI is. Those are acronyms. Look it up. ICLEI, I believe, is how you spell ICLEI.
Right. And Agenda 21, was put together back in 92. They met in Rio. Agenda 21 is the guide for communism. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's to wipe out property rights, total property rights. It was first to take over. You got to take over the government first, and that's what they're doing. Is taking over the government. I mean, they're taking over state and city government.
Yeah, they take over all the municipalities, and I will tell you this. We can't open a Bible up in school, and the Common Core is a big part of what's going on. To be able to have complacency and to be able to control the masses, they have to manipulate the mind, status quo, to make them comfortable with the knowledge that they have, rather than it being true knowledge, it is a brainwashing that has been going on for a long time. C-Scope is Common Core. When they said they'd take C-Scope out of Texas, and I fought my ass off for that. They promised me August 2013, C-Scope would no longer be in the school system. The lying bastards removed the name, and they kept the Common Core. Common Core has been implemented globally, and it's all for one agenda, and it is to be able to lead the masses to think in a socialistic, communistic manner, and to Micah touched on it when she was talking about the schools down in Houston teaching Arabic. Common Core teaches the pillars of Islam. It's teaching them to be comfortable with Islam and the religion itself, and it is to convert. It's to manipulate the false sense of security and instill that in our children, because if they can have the children effectively debate a parent who is not on board with Islam or communism, and it's in our universities. It's not just in our public schools. We're seeing it in our Catholic schools. We're even seeing the ABECA program removed from our Christian schools, and they're coming on board with Common Core. For the life of me, I can't get my head around that. Let that resonate, people. They're putting Common Core in private schools, and it teaches communism, and it teaches that our forefathers were terrorists, and it teaches that jihad fighters are freedom fighters, and the bullshit that they're brainwashing our children with effectively so that they can control them and they'll fall in to line without resistance for this communistic movement. It's insane what they're doing to our kids. And Common Core, by the way, Micah, is what fired me up. Common Core got me politically motivated 4 years ago when I found out it was in the Waxahachie school system and my grandbabies are in that school system. I was pissed off. I'm talking spitting fire mad. And I rode the Waxahachie superintendent for the school system there, and I rode the school board. I was furious. And I was on the phone with them every day, and everything that I learned about UNESCO and where it came from, I got on the phone and I'd educate the people on the other end of that phone in the Waxahachie school system. I was livid, absolutely livid, and that was my motivation. Micah, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes here to speak. I need to ask you, when I gave you my information earlier, were you able to fix my issue on the new site? Did we lose her? Micah, I think we might have lost Micah. Hang on, let me go into the board and see if I can pull her back up. The board's really giving me a hard time today. We lost Micah. Jean.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah,
where was Micah from?
Micah is from Waxahachie, oddly enough. She lives not too far from my daughter. I'm having some issues with this damn board. I'm going to have to go to the computer. It's not being very cooperative with me on my phone. Let me walk into my office. But Jean, yeah, you bring so much to the table, and I value you and absolutely respect your position and all the hard work that you do. You truly are an amazing researcher, and I'm blessed to have you in my family. Let me just pull this up on the computer and see if we can get her back online.
But I don't think that the message is getting across. I don't think that people understand the reality of what's going on, Becky. I really don't. You know, I mean, we all have to fight at our city levels. I mean, we really do. I think that's the only place that we can do anything about this and hold those people responsible. And I don't even think our city councils, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Beck? Okay. I don't think, from what I've seen, I don't even believe our city councils, and this might be an area where we can, or our city government actually signed those contracts, because when they passed, you know, after the mortgage crisis, I mean, they've had everything planned, they've had everything written up, they've had everything ready to go. When they passed the American Recovery Act, it was passed in Congress on February 9th. And when I started going through all those award contracts, all these contracts were going through on February 9th, the city and state contracts, right? The cities, they didn't have time. Those city councils did not have time to get that paperwork and get it signed.
Right.
So that really could be an area where we need to get to our cities, you know, groups of us, and it's going to take groups. You know, one person can't do it for sure, probably not two people, but numerous people need to form these, get to your city council and look at the contracts, because what it is they're called, you know, public-private partnerships, and find out when that paperwork was signed. You know, when was it signed? You want to see the paperwork. You want to see what they did, because I think you're going to find that a lot of those contracts were not signed by your local city council. I don't believe there wasn't time for it. It passed in Congress on February 9th of 2009, but when you go into the American Recovery Act and start looking at the contract awards, you'll see that a lot of those were implemented on February 9th of 2009. There was no way, if it passed Congress, that these cities and states had time to sign the paperwork. So somebody was doing the work for them, obviously. Now, that could be a huge something we could use to get our cities back. You know what I'm saying? We need to find out. Everybody needs to find out. And if your city is under ICLEI, you want to see the paperwork. You want to see when that paperwork was signed, that was turned, you know, when they turn this over to these regional boards, and when they dissolve their city government. We need to be looking at the paperwork and find out who did it, who signed it, and if it was actually signed by the local government. I mean, looking at the dates of this stuff tells me that somebody somewhere was signing the paperwork, but not at our local levels.
Yeah, I did when I ran for governor, I did so many talk shows. I was a frequent guest on Terry Dodd. I was on his show, and we had a gentleman who's been working on dismantling ICLEI, and he does a whole program for folks where he'll educate you to dismantle the ICLEI program in your cities, how to go in and remove it. and I'll have to go back in the archives and find that because I worked pretty diligently with it. We got nowhere with it in Arlington, but we have a patriot amongst us. I believe her name's Kelly Townsend, who ran for city council here in Arlington, and effectively she is battling against the EQUI program here as well. So we do have some people working on it in my city. We've got Micah back on. Micah, what happened? Do you hate me so much you hung up?
Sure. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Are you on the camel? Are you in the Grand Canyon? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah. So Micah, how do you feel about the Jade Helm situation and Texas being painted as hostile?
I think it sheds so much light on what's happening. I honestly didn't want to read about it for the first couple of days when it came out. But that, along with the other information, not just the Jade Helm information, but the other information that we've been privy to over the past couple of months, it just, everything you guys are talking about, it's happening. We're in danger. I don't know exactly what we need to do, but I'll tell you this, and we talked about this last night a lot when we were on the phone, Becky. We've got to do something, and we have to unite the true patriots, the ones that will stand up, and we need to remove ourselves from those who won't. And that's a project that we're working on. And in this project, we are addressing some of the Jade Helm information, questions, possibilities, which is with Patriotic Warriors. Are you ready to talk about that, or you want to give that a few minutes?
I sure am. That was my seg into it, sis. Go ahead, stare it up.
Hey, I'm new to this. I don't know what we're doing here. Well, we've introduced a new platform. It's an activist platform. It's called Patriotic Warriors. Again, it's an organization built to engage our community, our I guess you would say conservative, liberty-minded. I wouldn't even say necessarily just conservative, but the liberty-minded. We are providing training, outreach programs, other resources. We're making it easy for members to work together and to take action, to take real-life coordinated action to make sure that our voices are being heard and to make sure that things are getting done. We can no longer, and we've known this for a long time, but we can no longer trust our U.S. government, our leaders who take care of the American citizen. That is not their goal, and that's pretty much what this entire show has been about so far. It's a platform where we can engage those working for the same goal. We have expert activists. We have beginning activists. We're teaching them how to join the fight, what to do, how to be involved, how to make the most impact. And the biggest thing, and it's something that I think you touched on in your Facebook, is we are a valid option to Facebook. We have everything that Facebook has. And, again, it's patrioticwarriors.com. Before you go to it, go to Becky's Facebook page, and please click on her link so that we know that you came through from her show. But we are providing, again, the liberty-minded individual a community where they can organize and where they can seek out funding, provide funding, and be involved in protecting America. And this is something that is well needed, and people talk about it all the time, and we've done it. So we have all of the functionalities, all the capabilities that Facebook has, but we have something a little bit bigger. You are vetted before you are allowed to join. We want to know that you're on the right side. If you're in there to cause problems, you won't be there very long. And we don't limit free speech, but we're in there for the cause of liberty. We're not in there to argue with trolls, and we're not in there. That's not what's happening in patrioticwarriors.com. We have created a network of people, and this is brand new. This is a brand new initiative, and it's something that people, like I said, people have talked about for a really long time. But we have the platform now where we can help. We have state leaders, and our state leaders help to organize events, campaigns, activities, build websites, You will connect with like-minded individuals, and it's something that is well needed. And it's something that we try to achieve on Facebook, okay? We try to achieve that unity of those true patriots that will stand up, will be active, not just the keyboard warriors, okay? And we need the keyboard warriors. Don't get me wrong, we need those. You know, people that can get out there and spread information, we need that. But we also need the true activists that are going to stand up and protect the American citizens, which our U.S. government is not doing. We are working to help those who fought for our freedom, and we're also working to secure the border. You know, we have several different things that we're working on. Our mission is to build and to supply, and also to unite a coalition of patriots that adhere to the original principles brought forth by our founding fathers. You know, we are a social community platform, and we're able to connect people, organize events, organize people, and take real-life action.
I'm excited. Becky, you want to know how excited I am? I am so excited, Micah, right now. You have no idea. You have no idea. This is just the most exciting thing I've heard in a very long time, because so many people are like, what do I do? What do I do?
Right.
My God, I want to know what I can do, what I can do. And you know, we have so many people that want to get involved, and they just don't have anybody guiding them. And this is fabulous.
This is fabulous.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've had to keep quiet about it for so long. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure how much you heard. I kept getting cut off, so I don't even know if you heard anything that I said earlier. But I'm new to this movement. I'm new to the Liberty movement, but I want to make a difference. And so I know how people feel when they want to make a difference. They want to stand up. They want to protect our country. They want to protect their family and their children, but they don't know where to start. We are there, and we can show them. We have step-by-step ways to get things done.
Oh, this is so awesome. I just can't tell you. It's like Becky, I've been telling her, I'm so frustrated because nobody has a plan. It's like we don't talk about it. Nobody knows what to do. And the frustration is making me crazy because I've got all this information that can help people in these groups. It's like, okay, this is what's really going on, And it's like there's lots of people like me who have great information and things that can help everybody. But what do we do with that? What do we do with that information? What good is it if we don't have people to share that with who can take that information and say, okay, this is what we're going to do with it?
Exactly. And that's what we provided.
Oh my God, I just feel like I have had this load lifted. I mean, this is probably the lightest I have felt in the last year.
Yeah, it's a game changer. And there's so much in there, and of course I'm not going to sit here and go, talk about every single item that's in there, but we're happy to take questions, emails, whatever. Something else that we have in there, and there's some things that I want to talk with you about off air because, like I said, I've got some research done in the Texas area that I need to share with you, and I want to see what your thoughts are. But we'll talk about that later. We have another platform that is Patriotic Projects. And so when you are organizing an event, a campaign, any type of project, we have a project management and collaboration platform. And it's completely set up. You can go in. I can see what Becky's done, what Becky still needs to do. She can see what I've done, what I still need to do, how far, what our progress is. We have built something that is amazing, and we're on our way to building something that you would maybe consider a conservative type Google. We have so many things to reach out to people, and like I said, if for some reason you get through our vetted, and it's we vet for a reason. We want you to be in there for the right reasons. We want you to be in there because you want to make a change. You want to be involved. We want to feel comfortable sharing our information. It's to me, the way that I describe it is like a safe haven community, and it's a place.
Mike, I don't mean to interrupt, but
you're fine.
Just so tired if I don't go up. James, actually, the capabilities or the platform that has been created there, you have a section for notes, so you can create and keep your own notes. Your PDF files can be downloaded. You can actually use it as an office, basically, to organize and compile your information and to keep your files. And that's all secured information, by the way. You own that. You keep that. Nobody's going to grab it. Nobody's going to snag it. You can do effectively. You have an office suite capability with the new platform that they're offering. So not only is it would it put Facebook out of business, and I had an argument, by the way, Mike, with Scott Farello, not even an argument but a discussion. Of course, you're going to have your naysayers and negativity. And he was a little bit frustrated with me when I said, I'm moving over to the new platform. And he said, we just created the Rage page, and I'm trying to help you promote, or the Rage group, rather. Why would you
keep it, Becky? No, keep it. Let me tell you what I'm doing. We still need to utilize Facebook. We actually have a contract with Facebook so that whenever we post something on patrioticwarriors.com, if we want, you don't have to, if you want to share it via Facebook or via Twitter or via LinkedIn, you can share that onto your existing profile. And here's what I'm doing. I'm going to keep my Facebook. I have people on there that I want to keep in touch with that aren't necessarily ready to come over with us and fight the good fight, okay? So, but my thing is my research and my hard work and my planning is going to be located in the right area where it's going to do the most good, where we have the real patriots wanting a change for America involved. And that's where, if we're planning a protest, guess what? We don't need that on Facebook. Look what happens. We can have that in Patriotic War. That's huge. And something else, Becky, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's very important. Our members, you can, of course, you can be an individual member, you can be an organization, but you are provided with a site store, so you'll have your own store. You can have auctions. We have fundraising capabilities. Of course, our state chapters are there. We're, fundraising and donations and such. We have pages, blogs, polls. We have petitions. You can start a petition from our platform and share it everywhere. This is huge. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, dear.
You're fine.
Who is funding you guys? I mean, is there somebody funding you? Is this just, Patriot donations? I mean,
it's Patriot. What it is, our network, of course, is Patriotic Warriors. It's owned by Patriotic Network because we have other initiatives such as ban Sharia law and, other things that we're working on. It was developed and it's owned and operated by conservatives, by grassroots conservatives located in Texas. And we, we're not billionaires. They're not billionaires. We don't have the funding that Facebook has. However, we have the integrity that Facebook doesn't have. And that is the most important thing to me. Now, there is a membership fee. And you can, I think it's as low as $20 a month. Of course, if you have a big organization or a big group of people that come on, we can get you a significant discount. If you'll let me know, we can handle that. So there is a membership fee. But that membership fee, what it does is Patriotic Warriors uses money that comes in to continuously fund activism. So we're not, people don't realize it, but you are funding and you are supporting the owners of Facebook. You are supporting the left by being on Facebook. Those ads, they're not running there for nothing. They're running there because that's the money coming into Facebook. That's the money coming into Facebook. And when you place ads and such, you know how that works. But the thing is here you are funding activism in America. And that's what we're doing. And so when that money comes in, it goes out, takes care of, our bills. We've got to pay. We've got to keep our platform up. And sorry, my phone's losing its mind again. We got to keep that platform up and running, and we want to continue to be able to be involved and fund activism.
That's great. I'm very excited about it.
I am too, and we'll talk a little more after. Becky, I know Becky was so excited last night. She was so excited when we were talking because this is something that we haven't been able to share because we just launched. So it's something now that we can share, and we can share all of this information. We have there's some really big things that are about to come out with this. This is already huge by itself, but we have some other things that are coming out along with Patriotic Warriors that's going to just blow everybody's mind. So this is something worth getting involved in, and we are new, and I'm sure Becky's going to touch on this. We are new, and we are building our membership. So we have a way for organizations or individuals that once you sign up with Patriotic Warriors, we have a way for you to earn income. So you will earn income by when someone joins because you join, they click on your link. If they click on your link, if they join, you get paid. If they just click on your link, you get paid because you're helping us advertise. And so we're going to reward you for helping us by paying you. So if someone goes to another member's site and they purchase, let's say they come to my site and they purchase a T-shirt. And so they purchase a T-shirt from me, although they came to the site from your link just saying, hey, check this out, or check out Patriotic Warriors, and they surfed around and they found my site and they purchased something. Well, you receive 5% of whatever they purchased, whatever that purchase cost was. When a new member signs up, you receive 10% as an affiliate. So
That's
this
amazing.
is something that, we're going to give back. We're going to give back to the people who are helping us. We are brand new. We need volunteers. We need, and some of those volunteer positions will turn into paid positions hopefully soon. But we are, like I said, we're not billionaires. This is a company, it's an organization that is funded by our hard work is what it is. So it's something that we do need to support because there's not going to be anything else out there that is not owned by someone with another agenda. Our Patriotic Wars is with integrity. Everyone involved is someone that I would trust with my family because if it weren't, I wouldn't be involved.
That's a great thing to know. I know Becky knows you. I don't, and I hope that we can talk later. Maybe we can share phone numbers. Becky's got yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll put you guys in touch.
I would love to have a personal chat with you, Micah. I'd love to volunteer, but I've got lots of questions and.
Absolutely, and I'm here, and we can address those if you have any you want to ask now. I don't know if Becky was going to open up the line, but I'm sure Becky has some more things she wants to input.
No, we're going to open up the lines. I sat with them last night with Kate, with Micah, and they walked me through on Skype to walk me through the site and the operations and the tools and the different areas that she just covered, and I was blown away by it. They took the time to show me how to navigate and do the things that need to be done, and most certainly if you had an issue with navigation, they're there to help you. That's what they're all about, is support. So I'm sure they would do the same thing for anybody. Someone take time to walk you through it via Skype and show you how to utilize that to its fullest.
Absolutely. It's huge. It's something we all need, we all want, and like we were talking about earlier, people want to help, but they don't know what to do, and they don't know what to do, so they get frustrated, or they're like me and they're just beginning, and they're like, well, I don't want to seem like an idiot. Well, we're not going to let you seem like an idiot. We're going to help you. We will walk you through what you need to accomplish. We're going to show you. If you want to have a rally at the state capitol, or you want to have a rally at such and such place in your county, you let us know, and our state leader is going to help you organize that event. We are there to help. Now, I'm not saying we're going to fully fund everyone's event, especially at the beginning. We're just getting started. We've got to get people in. We're connecting with investors. We're connecting with, donors. There's so much that we're still working on, but we went ahead and launched it. So, we're still working. We're still looking. We still need, we've got to build the site. But the thing is there are people that want to be involved that can't physically be there, but they can financially be there. There are people that can't financially be there, but they can physically be there. And we want to help, and we want to connect those people and make it all happen. So you can come in and you can have a fundraising event on our site. Well, anything that you do on our site, you can share out on the other networks. You know, in Facebook, like I said, we have a contract so that we can share to their site. So I'm not saying that you get rid of your Facebook, but I am saying take your activism, take your research, take your hard work, and all of that effort of putting out meet here, and put it with the right people who are going to show up and meet there. We've organized so many events lately, and you just kill yourself trying to get people there. Well, our state leaders are going to be there to help organize those people. We'll know who can be in Austin, who lives close to Austin. We'll contact them, and we can get commitments on who's going to show up. We can get commitments on who's going to, help fund whatever event that you have going on, or whatever cause, or whatever campaign. So it's something that, like I said, and I keep saying it over and over again, but it's something that is well needed. And if we are going to make any progress, we have to unite the right people.
Oh, boy, I know a lot of people who will be excited about this, Micah. That's why I wanted to get together with you behind the, off the radio. And
we will. Yeah, we can do that either today or tomorrow. You just let me know. We'll get together.
Okay. And then, I've got names just going through my head. People are like, what do I do? What can we do? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. I wish I knew. Well, we're doing it. And we're open. If there's something that we can change or do better, let us know.
Micah,
oh, gosh.
The thing is, some will, some won't. If a $20 a month fee to secure your contacts and exchange of information without FedBook putting you in, timeout every time you turn around, or dictating the algorithms and feeds and who sees what, and sneaking up on the backside and gathering all your data and information to turn over to the feds because we know they're working with them. We're funding the enemy, and we have to stop funding the enemy and start funding the Patriot movement. So if, some will, some won't. If $20 fee for you to secure that, to be linked up with like-minded individuals who have direction, who have information, who have leadership qualities, who are tenacious. Those are the folks that are going to gravitate to this very rapidly. The rest of the naysayers or skeptics will be slow lagging. People don't like change. They become very complacent. Huge problem with the Patriot movement right now, as we know it, is complacency. Don't be afraid to take that step. Stop funding the enemy. Stop entertaining their ability to thwart your efforts. We all know what we know. The information that we give out, the reason I do blog shows, the reason I spend, sometimes 10, 12 hours a day just working my ass off to make sure that everything that I'm putting out gets seen, it's just so much work. It's so much work. Because if I put it on my wall, I literally have thousands of followers, you guys, and I can put something up on my wall, and if I get, if it's not a stupid picture or a dumb, funny video, I'm lucky to get 5 or 6 people interacting or even liking what I put up on my wall. They're dictating who's seeing my business that I'm putting out there, and I have to work furiously to copy-paste, post up on this page, that group, in threads. It is a constant battle to promote or to get my information out to alert the people and wake them up, because they're dictating everything I do. See, that is a psyop. That's a counteraction against our effort to move forward and be effective. And this gives us a platform to alleviate that problem. I certainly, just like I preach, I won't go into, listen, I don't care if I have diarrhea, and I'm just going to be nasty with it. I would not stop at a local convenience store to go in and wipe my butt and grab a bottle of Gatorade and some Pepto-Bismol. I just wouldn't do it. I don't care. I'll make my way to an American-owned business or a grocery store before I'll do business.
Absolutely.
Why? I'm not going to fund terrorism. Now, the more we support Facebook, and I will keep my pages up on Facebook because it's going to be a transition period. Effectively, eventually, I would like to see my followers, the true patriots who really want to do something besides sit on a keyboard and bitch all day long and share the same information like a bunch of hamsters in a wheel and get nowhere real quick because we have so much complacency and inaction. I would much rather be patient, motivate individuals to join us over on a newer platform. You know what? If it only costs you $20 to save the country a month, then so be it. You know, the opportunity to make up that $20, as she just explained to everybody, there is an opportunity for you to be able to go in there and earn your fee, be paid back by the company effectively to put that towards your membership. It's a small price to pay, in my opinion. Even the unemployed person can do this. If you're working as hard as you're working on Facebook as I am, it's certainly going to pay you to move over to a platform where you're not fighting that opposition.
Exactly. And I'm glad you pointed that out because, you know, there are people who struggle, and I understand that. And the thing is that's okay because all we need you to do is go and share what we're doing, share our information, help us to bring members to our site, and in turn you can either receive that payment or it can go towards your membership. So you have no excuse if you really want to make a difference. There's no excuse.
There will be a transition period, and I do realize that you know you're going to have and that was part of the conversation between Austin and myself, Austin Carley, and Scott Varello this morning on my post about the show. I had attached that we were going to release some important information about a new platform. I'm leaving Facebook. You know, I'm firing the landlord. But listen, Facebook has given me such amazing opportunities, but at the same time, it has been a great detriment on the other hand. So, you know, I myself have to look at it this way. I have to weigh the good and the bad. What are the benefits and what are the losses? And effectively, I believe that any loss that may come from this as far as followers, that's simply, at the end of the day, if they haven't caught on to the importance of this in the next couple of months as we promote this and get this information out to them, that's dead weight to me. That's somebody who's really not motivated to make change. They want to sit around and bitch, or they have nothing better to do in their life than to stay on a social media network and gather information and try to make friends and that kind of thing. And that's fine. I don't mind being social. I try to lend an ear to any individual and make them feel like they're the only person in the room. And regardless of my busy schedule, listen, I have a business. I'm building a business. I do radio shows. I'm guest speakers on shows. And then I put my research in, and I'm responsible for, handling my business at my household. And then I have another household about 3 blocks down the way with my godson and his mother that I also help with. So if I can do this much, and this is going to relieve some of that stress for me, I'm certainly going to go with the option of betterment. I'm not foolish enough to stay in a negative situation and continue to fund the enemy. How can I do that? I have to lead by example, Micah. How can I preach to the choir if I'm not going to follow suit myself? So I have to lead by example. So certainly I would continue to promote this and encourage people to stop funding Mark Zuckerberg. You know.
Yes.
Yes. Don't do it. Look at your options and look at the benefits and the advantages that it's going to give us. So, y'all, Micah, God bless you, man. I appreciate you for turning me on to it.
No, absolutely. It's like she said, I'm so excited because finally there's something that we can point people to. We can point them and say, okay, let's do it, And you find where your heart is. That's my thing. If you want to, what you want your platform to be, what you want to focus on, you get to choose that. We want organizations to come in. We want your groups, your whatever liberty-minded group that you have, we want that entire group to come over. And that's why we're going to offer significant discounts for those who bring over their groups. And a way for that group to earn money. I mean, that's a fundraiser in itself because you set up, everybody signs in under, so you already get a discount. Everybody signs in under that affiliate, that organization. So you're earning money on top of that, anything that sells, anything. So it's a huge opportunity for organizations to even raise money.
Micah, with the number that you threw out, the benefit for bringing someone in to join the site, the payment benefit, it's this simple,
right.
People. You come on board, you bring 10 people. Let's use the number 10. 10's a great number to use when you're building an organization like that. 10 people, your membership is paid for. So I would like to propose a challenge to everybody out there. I know you know 10 people. I know you know at least 10 patriots, especially if you're listening to this show. And you're in a group that follows myself and others like Micah and Jean and Bobby and Zeta and Joanne Moretti and Texas Independence and the list is exponential. But I would challenge you. This is my challenge to you personally. You want to be effective. You want to help us save this country, save your state, secure the future of your children. We have a platform now that we can work effectively in a perpetually positive motion to get this business taken care of that we're running out of time to take care of. I'm going to challenge each and every one of you to bring 10 to the table. And for every 10 that you bring, I'll work twice as hard to bring 20. That's my use. So anybody within hearing distance of this conversation that we've just held, we want you to reach out to us, and that's my challenge to you. You bring 10, I'll bring 20. You bring 20, I'll go out. Okay, that's my challenge to you. So I'm gonna issue a 30-day challenge. But if you're like me, somebody gives me a 30-day challenge, I try to get it done in 2 weeks because why wait? I'm just that kind of person. So I'm gonna say if you're coming on board, challenge yourself. See what you can do. Push yourself to the limit for you, not for me, but for you. Challenge yourself to rise up and meet that number 10 in a 14-day period because the gratification that you're going to feel from that, the results that you're going to see will motivate you to continue to do that every month because the benefit is at the end of it for you and for the movement. So wherever your passion lies, we've got a caller with their hand up. 870, you've got your hand up. Who am I speaking with? 870.
Area
code 8. Hey, what's up, Keith?
Well, I just wanted to make 2 offers for her, extra, if I may.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? First, number 1, and I know you know a little bit about this. I've got almost 30 years behind the computer industry, and 10 of that was doing tech support, which means I know how to work with people and show them, navigate, and do all what. If you'd like help with that, I'd be happy to. Unfortunately, Becky knows my situation. For me personally, as much as you say, but $20 for me is gold. Because
right.
With strictly living on a disability from the government, I mean, a third of my check on me goes straight for rent. And then I still have to pay my cell phone, my internet, and everything else beyond that. And barely I have about $150, $200 to work with on food a month.
Well, let me tell you, let me throw this out there to you, okay? Why don't you, and of course I don't want to just put it out there for anybody because we never know who's listening to Becky. Just wait and see what she'll say next. But let's talk after the show. Somehow, if you want to go to, are you on Facebook?
Yes, I am. But what I was going to do is take it one step further than that. Becky,
okay.
Can I throw out a suggestion to you?
Sure.
Libby's on too as well. And
hey,
I
Libby,
think I can do this. I think I can do this safely without asking Libby. But Libby has a conference call line, and what I was going to say is that for us, why don't we see if we can put together a conference call and use Libby's conference call and do that if you'd be open to that, Becky.
What say you, Libby? You're open.
That's fine. I'm up for it any time.
Fantastic. All right. See, now that's how we work together. They just offered up the conference line that Libby has. for us to give the number out to anybody who has any questions, and you can use that as a form to recruit. I mean, there you go. You're talking about your financial disability or disadvantage, if you will. Keith, your motivation, especially with a tech background, search engine optimization, but let's use it in human form rather than in a platform for tech. Let's just utilize that. You have a huge following, Keith, and you have a lot of people in your arena that could most certainly benefit from such a platform as is being presented here today. So I propose that you exercise that right to benefit from that in all areas, both for the cause that you work so diligently on, and I see you doing it day after day after day. You have a passion for helping in the area of disabled individuals because you yourself suffer a disability. So focus, brother. Utilize that. Bring them to the table.
Becky, I got a question for you. I'm signing up for the Warrior Project right now, and I'm signing up as 50 States Support Network because that's what I've got on Facebook. And
Fantastic. What
I want to do is, would it be okay to put this conference call line on the new whatever the map is in?
Yeah, put it on your page.
Okay.
Put it on your page. Utilize your tools. Put it wherever you want to. But yeah, not a problem,
okay.
Right, Micah?
Keith and I we want to work with the townships and the towns, but what she's talking about, the cities, is very important too. So some of us are going to have to divide and conquer in order for it to work right across the land. So Keith and I are going to concentrate on working with the townships and the sheriff's department, the constables, the justice of the peace, and that kind of stuff, so that we have the true form of the Republican form of government from the bottom up. And then that transfers from the people into the cities and into the state organization, which that's what she's going to do, is the state organization, so that when we get committees going, it's actually the people from the ground up going to the committees and making these rules and regulations before the legislature can approve them. And then once they're approved, then the governor approves them. That's the process of how it's supposed to work.
Micah?
Okay.
I'm here.
What do you think? Can you direct them?
I can. Okay, so we're wanting just to have a conference call to get a plan, get everybody involved. Is that what we're wanting to do right now?
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And how soon can we do that today?
I can do it any time you want to schedule it.
All right, listen, I have, during the show, my gentleman, one of the gentlemen that is associated with Boss, wants to do a call with myself and my business partner right after I get off the show. So if you guys can give me, oh, God, I don't know how long the call lasts, probably 45 minutes. I can do it any time after that. 45 minutes after the show, though, I'm engaged. I received a phone call, and I had to put the show on hold while you guys were talking, and Levi called. So I mean.
Okay. So can we schedule it at 4? Yeah. Central Time. 4 Central Time.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Okay. Let's do that.
Okay. The number is, you got a pen? 605. 562-3140, and the access code is 986176#. I'll repeat that again. The number is 605-562-3140. Access is 986176#.
Okay.
And we'll see you at 4 o'clock. Then,
all right. 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
All the listeners out there. 4 o'clock Central conference call concerning Patriot Warrior new website, social media site, / Patriot, everything. I mean, you can do everything. The tools are phenomenal on this site, from capturing your PDF files to linking up with like-minded individuals that have passion in areas like the lady just spoke of, Libby. You know, I mean, everything is at your fingertips. These gentlemen and women put this platform together, spent 5 years to build this site to perfection. So let's form some support, get on board, start taking our individuals that we know are leaders in the community that are frustrated, have direction, and let's start organizing over on the platform that's being offered. So we're going to have a conference call at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, the number is 605-562-3140.
No, 9.
Pardon me?
3149.
49, I'm sorry, okay. 3149, I stand corrected, 605-562-3149. Access code is 986176#. 4 p.m. Central. Listen, bring people on the call. Libby, how many lines can you have on that call?
Well, I think
up to 1,000. No, up to 1,000.
I think it holds up to 1,000.
Well, I'd sure
Maybe
like
thank
to see
you.
a couple at least gather on that call. So if you're listening to the show today, we would like for you to reach out to other individuals after the show, inform them of the call if they didn't get to participate in the show today or listen in. Inform them of the call at 4 p.m. Central. It's going to be life-changing. And God bless America, man. Libby, thank you for putting that number out there. Micah, I want to thank you for coming on the show, for sharing the information that you shared, and for co-hosting with me today. Jean, as usual, my feisty little sister and patriot companion, God bless you, man. You just keep doing what you're doing. You bring so much to the table, and I feel your frustration, but hopefully we can get like-minded individuals to move quickly to work with you with your passion in the direction that you're going to save America and save our state, save our country, save our children, and secure the future for America. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Jean,
we are in trouble.
After the call, this Libby.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry.
Can you call me after the call?
Yes, and you know what, babe, let me have your number. I am so disorganized right now. I have got so much going on in my own little world, but hold on a minute. I have to find a pen. And Micah, are you still with us?
I am, yes.
Okay, I just friended you, dear, on Facebook, so we can exchange phone numbers and chat. How's that?
That sounds great.
Tell me when you're ready.
You're at.
Okay, Miss Libby.
Okay, 870-437-5765.
Okay, dear.
All right.
You got it.
Okay, Jean, I just so you know, that hasn't come through. I just want to make sure that we connect. You can always get with Becky if we don't, but.
Right. Yeah, I did. I friended you. And,
Yeah.
Okay, if it doesn't come through, then when we get off, Becky's got your number. I'll get it.
That's a little different. But I do want to say something. I appreciate everyone, and I want to make it very clear that Patriotic Warriors is all of us. It's not an entity that's making everything happen, because nothing happens without the activists. And this is just a place and a tool for us to use to make things happen. So I appreciate everyone. I can't wait until 4 o'clock call.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. It's so excited. It's like, what can I do to help? What can we do?
When we get off the show today, I'm going to challenge each of you to reach out to, like I said, 10 is the magic number for me. I've done business for many years, and it seems to work well. So use the number 10. Try to bring 10 people to that call at 4 p.m. Everybody within hearing distance of my voice, please bring 10 people to that conference call, ask the questions, and let's get moving. Time's short.
And listen, right, and if you have access to a computer during that call, that will be helpful because I do want to, those that are already signed up, I want to walk you through it. But we can do that at the end so that all questions can get answered first. And then at the end, those that are already signed up, I do want to walk you through the site so you know where everything is and how to use it.
Now, for folks out there that own a business, I will be bringing Boss as well to the site because there is a great advantage for business and business advertisement on that site. I myself will be one of those participants. So if you have any questions about, well, can I bring my business to the table, please do.
Absolutely. That's huge. I mean, you have a store within your site.
Yeah.
You know, on your page for your organization, there's going to be a donate button. I mean, there's so many things, and it's all set up to help build your organization. So it's great. Becky, I've got to get out of here because these kids think they need to eat. So right, I'm going to feed them babies, and then I'll talk to everybody at 4.
See you at 4. Thank you again, Micah. God bless you, honey.
God bless you. Thanks, Becky. Bye.
See y'all later.
Thank you, Keith. If anybody has anything else they'd like to add before I close the show, I'm going to go ahead and close the show about 8 minutes early. I got a phone call that I need to make. I need to get back with my business partner and the other gentleman. So is there anything else anybody has to add to today's show before I close? Fantastic. I'm going to take that as a unanimous no. Again, I want to thank my listeners. Nothing without you. We would not be Rage Against the Regime if we did not have such a grand support across the board. You are everything to me. I hold you near and dear to my heart. Thank you for the panel once again today, and I'll see you guys at the 4 p.m. Central Standard Time conference call concerning patriotic warriors. And God bless you and have a good day.
Thanks, Beck. Maybe I'll talk to you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Are you